What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Post to Post podcast presented by Corona Premier, the official beer of the Post to Post podcast. With me, as always, my co-host Matt Small.
Yo.
This week's episode is episode 120, and for all you listeners who may or may not live under a rock, this is my final episode of the Post to Post podcast.
The final episode of the Post podcast.
Yeah, I really hope that the show keeps going, though. I hope you find someone else to do it with, and we get it up and running again.
I think this is where it ends.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I think this is where the podcast ends. There is talk. Actually, you know what's funny? Billy has been talking to me about really getting Small Talk podcast going. So I don't know. We'll see from there. But Post podcast isn't really anything without you. So this is kind of where it ends.
Dude.
And moving on to the next journey with Around the Boards. Not so much Spotify and Apple, but Around the Boards on YouTube. I'm going to be doing live streams. I'm going to be doing like hockey stuff too. I'm going to do like personal videos up there, but like certain podcasts do like an hour of certain stuff. I'll do like a game breakdown and stuff, or just like goalie stuff, and go from there. And everything, this is all kind of like the beginning. So just like the beginning of the podcast, you figure out what works, what doesn't work, and kind of lead you up to where you are. So that's the goal here.
Yeah, if you get into the nitty gritty and you need a little guest sometime, someone to jump in and do some stuff with you, let me know. Keep me in the loop,
Nice.
But yeah, this is apparently now the final episode of the Post podcast. This week's episode is 120. It is also the last episode of the season, obviously, because we have a new Stanley Cup champion, the Vegas Golden Knights.
Nice.
It was a good series. It was a good run.
I think that's what happens when you don't take down the jersey.
I know. I went on my bachelor party weekend for a buddy of ours, and I brought the tank top that Matt's wearing because I knew that if I took this down, I would have mushed the Golden Knights. So I was repping the opponent for the weekend.
I thought it'd be great to rep out the Florida Panthers little what is this, the basketball jersey, while you got the Vegas Golden Knights, because that was the Stanley Cup Finals right there. I'd be like, no, it's perfect, because I was repping the Florida Panthers the entire time, and you were repping the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah, I got to make a trip down to Rhode Island and cash my ticket now. I'm very happy about that.
Good, man.
Once the preseason gets started a little bit, once we're like almost there, I'm going to go lay another 4 teams again, just like I did last year, $20 a team, and hope that I can cash in again. Be pretty good.
That's awesome.
I've been gambling like a degenerate on DraftKings. I bet on the Game 5 game.
Yep.
I bet the opening face-off who was going to win. And I lost that bet. And then I picked Aiden Hill under 28.5 saves because I thought the Panthers were just going to lay down and die. But that went over. So
it took a while. The third period is where
that's where it
Aiden
stepped
Hill.
up.
That's where it fell. You were fine the first 2 periods of that game. I was like, I still got the Aiden Hill thing going. And that third period, because it's such a blowout, Vegas was like, all right, let's give some Aiden Hill some shots here. And then I was like, oh, there you go. It's gone. See you later.
So with that, the Vegas Golden Knights have won the Stanley Cup. 3 more players have now been added to the list of active NHLers who have won 3 Stanley Cups. Phil Kessel, Jonathan Quick, and Alec Martinez. Kind of interesting
2
where,
of them?
2 of them rode the pine, but that's all right. Alec Martinez was a pretty decent factor. I think he scored a pretty big goal in Game 5 or Game 4. I forget which one it was. But.
I didn't read your notes here, but Alec Martinez has a crazy stat with like Game 5 Stanley Cup final stats, where just like if needed him to score like a game-winning goal, he did it for the LA Kings when they beat the New York Rangers, and then did it again here with the Vegas Golden Knights versus the Florida Panthers. So for some reason, he's your guy.
Yeah.
That's for some reason dire opportunity. So great for these 3. Jonathan Quick. Great to see him lift that cup again. He's going to be a great addition to this Vegas Golden Knights team, depending on if they sign him or not for like this coming seasons. But the whole Aiden Hill situation, where Aiden Hill will come over and Jonathan Quick will give him a pat on the back and kind of explain him through the entire thing, because Jonathan Quick's a veteran dude who's been through it all. He'd be a great addition to Aiden Hill. I think this whole Stanley Cup run with Aiden Hill is a solid. I mean, Vegas Golden Knights, for some reason, have like 7 solid goalies. I'm just like, where the fuck did these guys come from? Like, Aiden Hill's like, what, your 5th backup?
And they needed all of them.
And they won the cup with them? I'm like, what the fuck? Like, so what happens to Robin Lehner? He's gone. Lord Perswan, he's gone. I mean, they got a lot of opportunities to fish out those goalies and try to get something for them too.
One thing about this team, though, I think that they were so well-rounded and built on the back end defensively. Like, I don't like, yes, Aiden Hill played well, but I see him like in the Darcy Kemper category where like the team won the cup and he was just in the net when they won it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He did have that crazy paddle save, but I mean, call that like, mojo, whatever you want to call it, whatever gets the blood pumping. But I don't think the goaltending was like the storyline here.
No, but Aiden Hill had his fucking games though.
He did.
He did. He had those games that were just like close, and he was able to keep it going. But again, like what you said though, when you're the Vegas Golden Knights, as stacked as they were, you're like, holy shit.
Dude, they were blocking everything in front of them too. Like they were laying the body out. It was good.
Yeah, there's so many block shots. Florida Panthers could not do anything.
I forget what defenseman it was, but he had 54 block shots in the series or in the postseason. I forget. 54 though. That's a fucking lot. I think that has to be the postseason.
That's great defense right there. That's just like, and then you could see how tiring that kind of playmaking is, because the Florida Panthers were just like, now we just got to take shots on the blue line and hope they go through, and not a lot of times.
And frustrating.
It gets irritating because they can't. They'll take the shot from the blue line, obviously block shot. They can't get into even near Aiden Hill because like the defense is just so good. The play just gets broken up, and here comes a Florida Panthers team that's just like literally the day after we're just seeing all these. Like I said before too, there's the day after you see all these injuries of these guys that are just coming out, like what they've been dealing with. I don't know if you put it in the notes here, but Matthew Tkachuk was out for Game 5. And he had a broken sternum. Apparently, Brady Tkachuk was living with him at the time just to help him get out of bed. So that says a whole lot about what these guys, the injuries they're playing through too. So again, I don't want to take anything for the Florida Panthers here. All their injuries is still playing fucking through it and still being in the Stanley Cup Finals. Great, but I think regardless, like Game 1 was really just like, all right, Florida, you met your match here with the Vegas Golden Knights, and Vegas Golden Knights took it.
Yeah, once you saw, I think, the Vegas players just brushing them off and not caring about all the bullshit that got Florida to where they got them, like, I think that's when we kind of knew what was going down,
Yeah, right.
Or at least for me, you said Vegas you said Florida in 5, Florida in 6, Florida in 7.
Man,
every game you're like, it's all right, they'll get the next one.
No, I'm the captain of the ship here, so I was like, I gotta go down with the ship. I was already rocking Florida, so I'm not a guy that jumps ship. I'm just like, I'm just going to go down with it, and here I am.
But for this episode, we are just going to go over some little stats from the Stanley Cup Finals, and then we'll get into some NHL news. There's a lot of stuff going on the back office, and a few signs coming down the line.
Out of nowhere, instantly, by the way. Like, Vegas won the Cup, and all of a sudden this week was just like, all right, well, we'll get a bunch of coach changes, trades, signs, all of this shit. I'm like, Jesus, guy's starting real quick. But if you want to start it off?
Yeah, so Mark Stone is now the only player to have scored a hat trick in the Stanley Cup Finals in the 21st century. He's also the last player to do so since 1996.
Damn.
Currently now, Stone remains seriously injured and could actually be in and out of the lineup for the rest of his career, per Elliot Friedman.
Wow.
Yeah, that's kind of nuts. He seems to have laid it all on the line and sold his soul for a cup there. So
worth it.
Yeah,
guys, this is the dream here for these guys. This is why they play. This is how they got to the pros, man.
Yeah.
Just like you do you got to do to win that cup. And
name is etched in history.
Good for him.
Vegas owner Bill Foley, as I'm sure a lot of you diehard fans have seen, predicted that Vegas would win the cup at their inaugural season, saying, quote, "We'll win the cup within 6 years." You can quote me on that.
Wild.
He also said playoffs in 3, win the cup in 6. So they were in the playoffs their first year, and they got it done within 6. So
yeah, Vegas out of the gate. 2017 was just a wild draft for them too, and just they're just really ready out of the gate. Seattle Kraken was the next one that just like that draft year was just a shitstorm for them that didn't pan out. And again, like I said, like for some reason this year was a 180 where they figured shit out and played really fucking well. Got into the playoffs too, so hopefully a bright future for the Seattle Kraken too. And I can't see anything dark here coming from Vegas. I think Vegas is gonna be fucking great next season, get into the playoffs. It's gonna take something crazy for Vegas to finally have that shit season where just like everything goes to crap here. But
I think it's off the top of my head, but I think their farm system isn't that great. They don't have a ton of like, they're probably in the middle of the pack in the NHL when it comes to their farm system and their prospects, because they've sold a lot of assets and bought a lot of assets for like too much, you know what I mean? So I think they might run into it in like the next 5 years or so, but I think they'll be good for the next 2 or 3 at least, because I mean they got Eichel long term, they got Petro there now, so I think they'll be all right. 67% of Vegas's 36-man roster played junior hockey in the WHL too, which I thought was like kind of an interesting, like quirky stat. Like we might be seeing some NHL guys coming out of the WHL because of this, like, you know,
stat.
This stat here. But we're going to get into the injuries now, too. On the Florida Panthers side of things, Aaron Ekblad played through a broken foot, 2 shoulder dislocations, and an oblique tear.
Can you imagine that shit? The fucking pain? A broken fucking foot. And my mind's just out the fucking
tape
door
it up.
now.
Hockey tape.
I wanna bring back that Toradol situation. What was the odds that Toradol was brought
Oh,
up?
100%. Yeah. That's what it takes to get there, to get to the cup. Shoot them up and get back out there.
So, I mean...
Players making their own decisions, hopefully a little more educated than they have been in the past on the whole thing. But still making that call because it's the cup, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Just got to hope Ekblad, you know, played it as safe as possible and doesn't really affect him as much as all those other guys did. But dude, I can't imagine a broken fucking foot and playing. That's wild.
Yeah.
I like when I saw the shoulder dislocations. I'm like, just pop it back. Like you see a bunch of like NHL guys do that, broken teeth and shit. But then you think broken foot. You think like hard skates, how hard you got to push down on the ice to like push off. I'm like, nope.
Ugh. Brandon Montour is also going to miss at least 3 months due to a torn labrum. And Matt already covered Matthew Tkachuk's injuries there. So those are the 3 storylines that came out on the injury side for Florida. Matthew Tkachuk's, though, 11 goals in the postseason sets a Florida Panthers franchise record for the single most in one postseason. So thought that was nice. Jack Eichel is now 3rd all-time for points in a player's first postseason. He recorded 22 points, which is behind Eric Stahl, who put up 28 points for the Hurricanes in 2006, and Mark Recchi, who put up 34 points for the Penguins in 1991.
Wow.
In Eichel's first playoff run, he played 22 games, scoring 6 goals, 26 points, and is officially the first $10 million plus player to win the Stanley Cup.
How much is he making right now?
I want to say 10.5.
Oh, that would do it. Because as soon as I read 10, I was just like, wait a minute, that's Bobrovsky's making 10. Like, what is that?
He's making an even 10. 8-year, $80 million.
Eichel is?
Yep. And he's the first player to win the Stanley Cup. Because Bobrovsky didn't win it.
I'm dumb. Yeah. I'm not thinking.
So if Florida won, then Bobrovsky would have been the first guy, you know? And Tkachuk might also be up there. I don't know if he's making 10, but he got a fat contract when he came over as well.
Interesting.
Adin Hill officially has the best career Stanley Cup playoff save percentage with a minimum of 15 games played at .934%, and this stat was originally tracked in 1955-56.
Oh, wow. Holy shit. Really? Oh,
yeah.
Fucking wow. Damn. Almost 50 years.
Jonathan Marchessault is the Conn Smythe winner as the MVP of the Stanley Cup playoffs. In his playoff run, he played 22 games, scoring 13 goals, 25 points, was a +17, recorded 80 shots on goal, and scored 3 game-winning goals.
Marchessault was unbelievable. Unbelievable, these playoffs. I mean, there were just star studs throughout the playoffs, but Jonathan Marchessault, holy shit, my fucking hat off to him, how great he was.
He's also the first undrafted player to win the Conn Smythe since Wayne Gretzky in 1988, so that's pretty good.
Interesting.
Yeah, I do like Marchessault a lot. Interestingly enough, I think the Florida Panthers sent him over to Vegas for a 4th-round pick. I think that's what it was. I didn't put that note in here, but so he came from Florida to Vegas in their like inaugural season.
Something like that.
Because he's one of the original 6 guys on the team that are left on the roster.
Good for him.
Crazy stat here. It kind of makes sense, but the Stanley Cup Finals national broadcast ratings were down 43% compared to last year, and it's the least viewed Stanley Cup Finals since 2007.
So, Florida Panthers, kind of makes sense. Vegas Golden Knights, I don't know. Does that... I want to see how this stat works. Are they looking at just, like, people's TVs?
Yeah, so it's basically like... It's a national broadcast. They get numbers on how many like people or like televisions have tuned in, where those TVs are, how many people are in each household in a way. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
The cable company has all that data, and then they turn it into a point system on like 1 to, I want to say 10 maybe.
Yeah. I saw this. We've been talking about the viewership on the NHL for a while now, and I really started getting to like really thinking about how they even come up with this stat. And Comcast right now, just general fucking cable is just through the roof expensive. I was telling you when we started the podcast, I got rid of cable because it was almost like it got to almost $400 a month for fucking cable.
And I do think that's a factor, but at the end of the day, like if it's a major market and it's your sports team, like they'll find a way to watch it. So like they'll go out to the bar and watch it. That adds to the ratings that way and things like that. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, do they even count how many people are there? Because if you look at the outside of Vegas arena there too, there was 1 million people outside watching that one screen.
Yeah.
So if like they counted that one screen as one person, I'm like, you're missing.
No, they know there's all this data and stuff. They got it. They know what they're doing. Yeah. They aren't gonna say like that's one person sitting there.
Because that's my thought. Because I watch it on a website and I'm just like, there's definitely no fucking way they're tracking that.
Yeah.
But here I am.
I mean, that's also an easy track, too, because you could get a live number of how many people are sitting there watching it with you in the chat room. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
true.
it's an easy one to track. But it's just, it's all about the cable ratings, obviously, because that's where the money comes from, all the ad revenue, where you're on these shady sites where you basically sit there and watch a black screen while the commercials are on. So, like, they generate no money that way, you know?
Yep.
But I do think the main factors are that both of these teams are away team markets. You go to the Vegas Golden Knights game not as a Vegas Golden Knights fan, and you go to a Florida game not as a Florida fan. They don't have like a strong fan base. It's not a major hockey market, and I think the finals matchup, like, it wasn't as advertised as it should have been. ESPN dropped the ball. Like, I think TNT did a very good job with it, but like, I don't know how else they need to get it out there, but the game isn't growing quick enough.
No.
Is what I think.
No, and we've been down this rabbit hole, I feel like, plenty of times now at this point, where it like it's just like it's just an expensive sport.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just go outside and play.
Yeah.
Like
barrier to entry's
basketball, you can find a basketball park up the street with a basketball that's like $10, or you find one. And pump it
I don't know if
there.
I did this last time. Have you ever counted how many like basketball courts there are?
There's a shit ton.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I counted like the Dunkin' Donuts in Braintree once, and I think like there's just as many basketball courts outside.
And
it's
like,
nuts.
soccer's the same way too out here. There's the soccer fields all over the place. If you want to play football, you don't even need a field. You can just fucking grab a football and just play football.
Yeah.
Hockey's literally one of the only sports that you need all this expensive ass equipment. Unless you could find like someone who's going to donate to you, which is coming more and more often now, because with hockey it's for everyone, and really just people trying to get people out there and play. You could find spots to like get donated stuff to really get you onto the ice, but now you got to pay for the ice. Now you got to get now you got to find a team, a league, and all this shit. It's not easy to do. Street hockey, a lot easier. Actually playing hockey is just a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
And once you're in it, you're in it, I know a lot of these kids too, they start off so early. Like, especially in Boston, you see it all the time. They're just like 5 years old. Like, you're learning to skate at Frog Pond in like the Boston Commons. Just the way it is. I'm sure Minnesota's the same way. I was hearing stories about like when you're 4 or 5 years old, it's just very common for you to just get on the ice and just like learn how to skate. And it just goes from there. But if you start late, it's difficult for a lot of guys. You see that with Sticky Socks hockey. We were talking to Pete about that, where guys are just like 40 years old, just like, I want to start playing. And you see it a lot where just like they're coming in late and they're realizing how like expensive it is to even get out there,
Yeah.
And you got to dedicate your time to it too. So I on the Mic'd Up with Matt episodes, I have 10:30 games, 10 o'clock games. It's difficult.
Crazy. I played a 10-10 game this week.
Wild.
I haven't played a game in a while.
Warrior Ice Arena, I'll never do it. I saw it once on there's an email list here for all the goalies, and I saw it once. I don't think I've seen it again. But 11 o'clock at night at Warrior Ice Arena, I'm just like, no.
Nice.
Get out at midnight. No, nope. Be up at work for like in 3 hours. No thanks. I'm out of here. But yeah, it's a difficult sport. Like, I understand. Since we started doing this podcast, the more and more we've talked about, the more I'm understanding where this sport is now, and just like I'm understanding kind of the decline on it. It's not because you hate the game; it's because you can't be a part of the game. It's too expensive to play, and
the good thing is it's not exactly declining. You know what I mean? It's not like where the MLB is. You know, like the MLB's fading because it's boring. But
it's boring as shit. Yeah.
I think the MLB did the right thing with the pitch clock, but that's a whole nother story. It is at least growing, and I think, like you said, it's all the active community members that are getting it out there, getting the sport out there and into young kids' hands. That's helping. All right.
That's my take.
You ready to get into some NHL news from around the league?
Yes.
So the big one this week, I think the biggest, the Ottawa Senators have been purchased by Michael and Lauer for $950 million.
Not Deadpool.
The purchase is for 90% of the franchise, and the remaining 10% is retained by the Melnyk estate. Andlauer previously owned the AHL's Hamilton Bulldogs, the OHL Hamilton Bulldogs, and a share of the Montreal Canadiens since 2009. Due to him completing this deal, he'll now have to sell his share in the Canadiens.
That makes sense.
That's why we threw up the Bulldogs jersey behind us, too.
Yeah, that's it.
It's over this shoulder.
Nailed it right there.
Yeah,
Yep,
exactly.
Perfect. That's exactly why we did this. This is actually pretty interesting by the Ottawa Senators. I'm actually shocked they got it done as quick as they did here because of all the people kind of joining in to buy the Ottawa Senators. But
it was a lot of buzzwords too. Like I feel like it was a big story that got hockey out there as well. Like Snoop Dogg making a statement about getting members of the black community playing and getting it more involved in black youth.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing with Ryan Reynolds. Just his name being attached to it and fans wearing Deadpool masks and shit to the games. Like it was good for the game for a bit.
I think their push was more for, is a guy going to come here, know hockey, know what it's like, and actually produce for the franchise instead of being a face of the franchise for like Deadpool and try to get fans.
I mean, we can also see if he'll sell a minority share to either Snoop Dogg, Ryan Reynolds, someone, because he's got 90% of the franchise. He can divvy that up
10
a little
minutes.
bit.
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
So we'll see.
We'll see what happens. But Ottawa Senators here, maybe on the rise. We'll see what happens. I like the Ottawa Senators. I got nothing wrong with them. They're a great team.
They grew on me this year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We got back office news here as well. The New York Rangers have hired Peter Laviolette as their next head coach.
Okay.
Another old school one, and we'll throw this one in the mix as well.
I thought this was interesting too. Well, it's been time since Peter Laviolette was on the Flyers here, but I remember Laviolette was on the Flyers with the New York Rangers and Flyers rivalry too. So it's kind of crazy to have a rivalry head coach sign here with the Rangers.
I think he's coached like almost every team in the Metropolitan Division. He definitely
really
coached the
Laviolette
Hurricanes too. He coached a lot of those teams. The Capitals, not the Hurricanes. I'm sorry, the Capitals. The Islanders. I think he was there for a bit.
Damn, I'm trying to remember.
It's kind of nuts.
Yeah, you might be right.
Another old school one here too. The St. Louis Blues have added Mike Babcock and Mike Weber to their coaching staff. Very interesting. Out of nowhere.
Yeah. Well, it's good that he's not going to. Why the fuck is he even back in the NHL? Why St. Louis Blues? Well, you need two crazies on the team. You got your Jordan Bennington, that's a fucking nut house, and then you have Mike Babcock.
Yeah, maybe Patrick Waugh's coming back to the NHL too. It'd be joining the Blues staff.
Fucking fight each other, and it's gonna be wild. I don't know what St. Louis Blues are thinking here. I don't get organizations that, like we've talked about this to a blue in the face here. The old school coaching is just dead in the water.
It seems to be about 50-50 because I think like these teams look at it and say, hey, he's got a 30-year resume that shows that it works, and bring him in, whip the kids for a couple years, and then move on and bring up our guy that we've had in the AHL is the other 50%.
That might do it.
We'll see. Mm-hmm. Like teach him discipline, structure, all that shit, and then bring up the new guy. Here's some follow-up from the Pittsburgh-Toronto drama that we've had this offseason. Yeah. The Maple Leafs have named Shane Doan as an assistant to the regional manager, and Jason Spezza has joined Kyle Dubas in Pittsburgh as their assistant GM.
Nice.
So Spezza jumped ship and followed his boy Dubas down there. And Shane Doan, I like this move a lot. Very, very good for Toronto. Another good hockey name that has been around a long time and knows a lot about the league and what it takes.
Shane Doan's another guy jumping ship. He's coming from Arizona Coyotes management there too. That's just like, this is fucking shipping. Bring me to another fucking team.
Yeah, that's a good look at it. Yeah.
Yep. And Toronto Maple Leafs are on the rise. I mean,
allegedly.
Talking shit to me.
Got a first-round playoff win. Let's go.
Let's fucking go. One of the best teams in the regular season, like I said.
Yeah, just like the Bruins.
And
ricochet shot.
And this is Shane Doan kind of jumping ship here, and knowing that the Arizona Coyotes are just kind of just a mess right now, and Toronto is just like, well, if I want a place to go, here we go. And I think Shane Doan is going to fit well with the Toronto Maple Leafs here. I think he's going to be in a situation where the organization cares, and he's going to be able to kind of do what he wants to do there. which is great. As for the Kyle Dubas situation, I think Dubas had a lot to say in it. I think mainly because I think as soon as Kyle Dubas was fired and Spezza, like almost instantly, was just like, yeah, I'm out of here. I think Dubas had something to do with that. We were just like, all right, well, can I rope in my guy Spezza here because we were working together on our last team, and it was like, all right, let's do it. So good for these clubs. Good for the pickup. Good for the pickup for Shane Doan here too. I think he's got a lot to prove here with the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
And, that's all I really got here. But I will say one thing for Pittsburgh Penguins here: they are shitting the fucking bed. This year was a huge wake-up call for the team, the organization, how old they are. Sidney Crosby's just not the same anymore. I don't know what.
Sidney Crosby's the only thing that is the same on that team, I think.
I think he's
the only thing driving that ship.
Yeah, you are right with that. We don't know what the hell is going to go on with Evgeny Malkin, Casey DeSmith, Tristan Johnson. Like, the team was just old guys. They need to figure something out here. So I think Spezza and Dubas here jump ship to find another team that they really, really have to dig deep and.
I feel like they're like starting from scratch again. You know what I mean? It kind of sucks.
100%.
Kind of a random one here from the Flyers. Didn't expect this. Patrick Sharp has been hired as a special advisor to hockey operations in Philadelphia.
Was Sharpie a commentator? Or
he was,
broadcaster?
Yeah. Yep.
This season? I don't remember.
I don't remember this season because I think he was an NHL Network guy.
Oh yeah,
and then maybe a little bit NBC Sports. Yeah, the year before.
That was it. Yeah. Good for Sharpie here, still kind of staying with it. I don't know. You're in Philly. I mean, Patrick Sharp wasn't he Philly? No, Patrick Sharp was Chicago Blackhawks. He was never in Philly. I don't know. We'll see what happens with Philly here. Philly just trying to make some moves. A lot of these bottom line teams really trying to make some moves here. That's pretty much what we're seeing here. Because our next one is Calgary. If you want me to jump into that,
yeah, go ahead.
The Calgary Flames are hiring Ryan Huska as their next head coach. Huska was the head coach of the Stockton Heat and Adirondack Flames in the AHL from 2014 to 2018, and became the assistant coach for the Calgary Flames after that. So he's got some bit of Calgary Flames NHL.
Oh yeah, I think this is the guy that they've brought up from scratch, and this is our guy rather than going with the old school Darryl Sutter.
Yep.
So they did have a couple years of get an old school guy in, whip the boys, and then now here's our guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is what we're riding with.
That's what we're doing.
They also named Jerome McGinley as special advisor to the general manager too.
Nice.
So
Good man.
They're setting up for success here. Definitely a weird year last year. Hopefully they can get more out of Huberdeau and Mackenzie Weegar after that trade. Really doesn't look too good when the guy you give away goes to the Stanley Cup Finals.
No,
right?
I was saying that to my the dogs. We're in the locker room last week, and just talking about Matthew Tkachuk, man, in the playoffs. He's been on fucking rail for the Florida Panthers, especially in the playoffs. And I was just thinking about that trade that they had with for Matthew Tkachuk. I'm like, fuck, they fucking fleeced Calgary Flames in that goddamn trade because Matthew Tkachuk was a solid pickup for him. And
totally didn't look like that though at the time. We said it the other way.
Right.
We said Calgary fleeced them.
Yeah, it's exactly what we thought, but it's now just like a completely what am I trying to say here? Absolute mirrored version of what we thought that trade was going to be.
Right.
But let's move on here to the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets have named Nick Backstrom as their goaltending coach. This is actually interesting. Nick Backstrom is I don't know if all the old school goalies know this. Absolute leg back in the day. Nick Backstrom was one of those goalies that when we were talking about Fleury, where he was just like he was a team goalie. Like
yes.
He was with the team for years. He retired with the team. This is Nick Backstrom, and that's in that case for the Minnesota Wild back in the day. And I think he retired with. Do you have your thing up? I think he retired with the Minnesota Wild, if I'm not mistaken, because I don't know if he was on any other team besides them, and I don't even know for how many years. Is it just all fucking Minnesota on Hockey DB?
Did I put the wrong name, dude? This is a fucking player on the fucking Capitals. Is there two of them? They got the same name?
Yeah.
Wow.
Put Nick Backstrom goalie.
Yeah. Wow. That's fucking hilarious.
Can you imagine a player as
I
a
spelt it
coach?
wrong. That's terrible. That is terrible. There's no C in Nicholas Backstrom's name. He played for the Wild and 1 year for the Flames and then went back to the Liga.
The Flames. Interesting. I don't know if did he
Only
play a
played
game?
4 games.
Oh, that would do it. Yeah. But, yeah, big wild guy here, too. That's why I said it was kind of interesting for the Blue Jackets to pick him up. I mean, great pickup just in general.
Who's Backy going to pass the puck to?
What?
Who's Backy going to pass the puck to? The Ovechkin commercial?
Yep. That Nick Backstrom.
Whoops. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
All right, the New Jersey Devils, a lot of news here. They've traded the UFA rights to Damon Severson to the Columbus Blue Jackets for a third-round pick. The Blue Jackets then signed him to an 8-year extension worth $50 million, which is $6.25 million AAV.
I like Stevenson. I think it's a good pickup for the Columbus Blue Jackets here.
I do too. I think he's a good top 4 defenseman for them. I did like him a lot on the Devils. I think he played a bigger role there than the Devils needed him to, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And now in the Blue Jackets, it's going to be under a fucking microscope of you need to be good this season because we are not good.
I think he's going to get the ice time he deserves too. Mm-hmm. He's going to be like top pair. Not top pair. He's going to be like top 1-2 on there.
You think so?
Yeah. Severson?
Wow. Yeah.
I really like him.
I think I'd see him as like the second line guy.
That's what I'm saying. Like either 1 or 2,
Yeah.
Want a second line.
Yeah.
But great pickup for the Columbus Blue Jackets here too. I don't know. That's 6.25 is actually really fucking good for him for 8 years. Like really fucking locking him in too.
I think that's good for the Blue Jackets. Like I think Severson in 2 or 3 years is going to be worth $8 million. So for them to get him for the next 8 years at 6.2, like I think that's great for the Blue Jackets.
Yeah.
Like I think Severson probably should have done a 4-year deal for that money.
Yeah.
He could probably walk to the open market and make more. I think after that.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe he's going to have like shit years in Columbus and he expects that, and then he's not going to be worth shit.
I mean, yeah, you're coming from a great team like the New Jersey Devils where like you're playing with like top brass guys just like who know how to pass the puck, how to like, play with each other, and you go into
let's not sell him short. You got Gaudreau, Line, I think Seth Jones, and Werenski, right? Or Seth Jones on the Blackhawks
is
now.
the Blackhawks.
Yeah. Well, you got Werenski up there too, so I don't know. I wouldn't sell him short.
All right.
The Devils then signed forward Jesper Bratt to an 8-year deal worth $63 million, $7.875 AAV. So that freed up the cap space there.
Yep.
The other thing, going back to the Severson thing, is he was basically going to walk for nothing. So it's good that they got a third-round pick in for him.
Yeah.
And they also obviously couldn't afford to pay both him and Bratt. And I think Jesper Bratt's worth it way more than Severson is for what the team's looking for.
Oh yeah.
And the last little New Jersey rumor is that Timo Meier is looking to secure an 8-year extension with the Devils as well. He's got his agent trying to work something out there.
It's gonna happen. They'll figure something out.
Yeah, I think he'll be worth it.
Yeah, New Jersey, the way they've been looking all season long, I think, and especially in the playoffs too. The whole Kara Schmid situation really helped out. It's another Aiden Hill situation where just like a goalie really showing his name here.
You want to see a prediction that I got for you?
Yeah.
I think that the New Jersey Devils, this is like a very specific prediction, are going to do what the Washington Capitals did with the Colorado Avalanche last season. They took their Stanley Cup winning goalie and brought him over. I think the New Jersey Devils are going to take Aiden Hill.
That's a ballsy move.
But that's like what they need. You know what I mean? The Capitals took Kemper because they needed a goaltender. And I think the Devils need a guy like Hill.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's still going to be the guy,
I mean, I don't think Darcy Kemper went to a team that he was given the opportunity to. Like, they weren't a very good team.
No.
The Devils are good, and I think if Hill comes in and does that, and the Devils play their system in front of him, I think he can do it.
Still be
you know
good.
what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think
That's nice.
that's my very specific prediction for the New Jersey Devils is like they're just gonna Capitals, Colorado, same move.
Is there a way you can bet on that?
Or I mean, let's make it a little more broad. We're going to say this next. Hellebuck is not interested in signing an extension with the Jets and is set to become a UFA on July 1st.
Oh, so that's right. Yeah.
So you got Hill, Hellebuck, and John Gibson all looking to go to the market. So I think like one of those 3 guys should land in New Jersey for that team.
I like where you're going.
They're gonna have to sell something for them.
So you're gonna put a Kara Schmid as the backup? Yeah. So they got a 1A, 1B tandem right there.
There's not a 1A, 1B. That's your goddamn backup.
What happens to Mackenzie Blackwood?
Mackenzie Blackwood's your backup. Akira Schmid's going to go fucking melt for a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. I don't know what their contracts are looking like, but I think Blackwood's the guy over Schmid. Yeah.
Even though he played well. Yeah.
But they also have to trade for these players, so I mean maybe one of those guys move out, and that's how you solidify your net.
You got me thinking. Wow, New Jersey making some moves here?
I mean, yeah, that's the only part they're lacking, and I think they have a really strong defensive core. I think they have a really strong forward core. Their goaltending is just a question mark. Could be what gets them over the hump.
Interesting thoughts.
Maybe New Jersey's one of my teams for the, the little future bet. Future bet next year. I don't know. We'll see.
I can fucking see it because the podcast is ended. I'm just gonna get ready to text, be like, "Hey,
who's winning the opening face-off tonight?"
I just bet on New Jersey to win this cup next year. Like Jesus.
I got Seth Jones over 1.5 block shots this game. What are you thinking?
I'm gonna get it. That's exact. Oh, so fun fact. That's exactly how Game 5 really started. Oh no, you texted me first. Oh, messaged me first, and because the game was about to start, and it wasn't like Game 5 is about to start, like anything hype at all. It's just like I betted on Vegas winning the opening face-off and Aiden Hill to have 28 saves or less. That was it. I'm just like, all right, well, here we fucking go. I was waiting for you to like comment, text me back a little later, and be like, the third period, I got Jack.
I gotta make that money
like
back.
4 shots. Yeah, got something going on. The first, I was never so like face to screen and like an opening face off in my life because I'm just like, is he gonna fucking win that fucking face off?
I was waiting for it, dude. My sister-in-law was watching the baby, and I was like standing at the stairs, like my head around the corner, like waiting for the puck to drop, and I was like, "Fuck!"
It was such a funny face off because as soon as they lost, I texted Chris, I'm like, "Oh boy,
Yeah.
real fucking quick."
Quickest $5 I ever lost.
Oh, it was only $5.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah, it's a nice short bet. It's fucking just funny to throw in because it's all that bonus money that we got from just making the initial deposit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So all those bonus bets.
Yeah.
So
might as well just go
pretty
for
funny.
it.
Just something random to do. Like, who really knows who's gonna win the opening fucking face off? You know what I mean?
That's fucking hysterical.
Yeah.
I love the betting you came down. It's literally just happened like the past few weeks.
Yeah.
Of just like, dude, I started betting on the games. What was the game we were watching? Where we were just like
We had
constantly
so many
betting?
things going. We had like 5 different bets going.
Ugh. I was over here one night. Was it recording night or is it just like me over there just watching the game with you?
I think he might have just come by to watch the game.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, just like he's got his phone out, and like out of nowhere, because it's a little quiet, he goes, "You said some bet." You're just like, "All right, well, should I do this?" It's just like Vegas has 28 shots in this game, or some shots, and I'm like, "Wait, what?" And he goes, "I'm betting on this game. What should I do?" And then I thought it would end there because I gave you my answer. It'd be like, all right, here's the next one. And we just went down like 10 different bets. Like, Jesus. Love it, though. I love the scumbaggery bets we've been doing.
Yeah.
It's actually been making
just
pretty
being
interesting.
a degen. And it's something to like be interested in watching, like I almost want to put it on baseball too, but I'm like, I don't really want to get invested in that sport right now.
That was the first time Florida Vegas we were watching? Because that was the first time I wasn't rooting for anyone. I was just rooting on like
for the thing
bet,
to happen.
The bet to happen. Yeah, that was it. All right.
Let's scramble around a bit. We got some other news to cover. So, Colorado, Sam Girard has opened his doors to 2 families who've been affected by the forest fires up in Quebec. The families are currently living in his home due to the community centers filling up. So,
great guy, Sam Girard.
I heard one of the families actually has like a 14-month-old baby too. So,
oh man,
that's crazy.
I can't believe how bad the forest fires in Quebec are. Did you see the photos of like New York and Washington?
All the smoke
It's
coming down.
unbelievable. Apparently Boston got affected too. I didn't really notice anything, and all of a sudden, like, was it Monday or Tuesday? Like, I had like hard time breathing.
Oh,
My
wow.
coworker Hector was just like, "Yeah, you're breathing in like forest fires from Quebec." I was
Right,
like,
right.
Oh, that's fucking it.
That's crazy.
And ever since, like this week, it's finally hailing now, but the back of my throat was like raw.
Yeah, you were bad
coughing.
last week before we recorded. I was
Yeah,
like,
it
oh,
was
he doesn't
bad.
sound too great.
I thought it was my my allergies. It wasn't.
Mm.
It's finally recovering now. So it's
What do you
wild
know?
how
What do you know? Allergic to smoke.
Smoke can do that to a lung? What the hell? Learning something new. But yeah, it's kind of wild how like a fire from literally northern like Quebec, the next country up, can like affect you from like away now. But with me just being affected just in general, like in Boston and Quebec, it's really cool that Sam Girard here was able to really help the people that were in it, because I can't imagine being in it.
Right.
Can't. It must be a scary situation for them. Moving on here to your boy Mika Zibanejad will be playing an EDM, not Edmonton Oilers, set at Lollapalooza in Sweden. And I thought this was a joke. I thought this was Puck Empri, and then
he's done this before too.
I
That
didn't know
Lollapalooza in
that.
Sweden though is pretty big. Like that's a huge one to do.
Oh yeah, Europeans fucking love.
He's
that
got I think he's
shit.
a DJ and he has 5 songs released. I think is what I read as well.
Oh really?
Yeah. Pretty cool. Going to any concerts this summer? Oh, you got the Arctic Monkeys one in the fall.
I thought about that. Was it last week or the week before? I was just like, wait a minute, when is it? I'm gonna get a random text and be like, hey, it's Thursday. I'm like, what's Thursday? The Arctic Monkeys. The Arctic Monkeys is gonna be the first concert I've been to since I don't even fucking know when. I think we saw Trivium back in like 2016. I was with you.
Yeah.
I remember that. It was the House of Blues right across from Fenway Park.
Didn't the guy break his leg during Devil Driver?
Devil Driver, yeah.
And fucking froze the concert
the lead
for like an
singer
hour.
from Devil Driver, I remember being fucking rip shit. He goes, "Someone get him off the fucking ground." I'm like, dude, calm down. We're not.
And
here,
then he
we're not
wanted
here
to
for
play
Devil
the rest
Driver.
of his set. I was like,
No one
easy
here
for
is wearing a fucking Devil Driver t-shirt. Just fucking move the hell on. We're here for Matt Heafy from Trivium. That's it.
Nice.
Just scummed.
I think I think I'm gonna be going to Tool in November at Mohegan
Are you a Tool
Sun.
fan?
Oh yeah.
I think Tool fans, like, were you growing up with it? Like, your father just, like, was just, like, his Tool?
No, I don't think he did. I listened to like Disturbed because of him, and then I branched out from there.
Oh,
and that,
really?
Yeah, and that got me into like System of a Down, Tool. That was like the genre back then for me.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I can't
and then
get
I
into
really
Tool.
branched out from there.
Cannot get into Tool for the life of me.
Really good.
Buddy Mike Johnson fucking loves them. But that was the same situation. That's why I asked about your father, because his father was the one that got him into Tool,
Yeah.
and he loves it. That's like the Beatles. I was telling you, my uncles got me into the Beatles when I was young, and I fucking love them. But you can't stand the Beatles.
No, Beatles are terrible. Bad music.
It's weird how growing
It's not
up.
good music.
I wonder if it has something with like growing up. I wonder if the music's just terrible, but because like the nostalgia's there, you like it. I wonder if that's it.
I think if we're talking like, the true music, it's not bad music, obviously.
right.
But in my opinion, it's not good music. I don't like the Beatles. Not a fan.
It
Not a
is what
fan.
it is.
Overrated.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
It's easy to say the most popular band in the world is overrated because they can't be underrated. They're the most popular band in the world.
Yeah, you're right.
The only option is to be either rated properly or overrated. So, all right, back to hockey here.
Yep.
The winning bid for Wayne Gretzky's last worn NHL jersey was for $715,120.
I heard Biz talk about this on TNT. I think Game 5 because they brought it up, and he goes, I'm gonna buy it from him, have Gretzky sell it for like 10 times more than amount. Get my money back. Well, I can't believe that. It's game worn, right?
Yeah, it's his last game worn jersey.
That is wild price right there. Imagine hanging that up. Imagine the podcast kept going. We fucking threw it back there.
Yeah, fucking quick $800K, dude. I'd fucking flip that in a heartbeat, dude. I'd be pulling a Biz. Be set for fucking 5 years.
$800K. What can that get you in Boston?
A house?
Maybe. Yeah. Still owe like $200,000. Maybe $400,000 more.
Yeah, depends on what you want to buy.
Yep.
All right, into hockey some more. The ECHL, the Florida Everblades, have beaten and swept the Idaho Steelheads to win the ECHL championship.
Sweet.
And a little other minor news tidbit. The QMJHL rules have been updated for 23-24 season. They have officially banned fighting from their league.
Trash. I mean, it's juniors. It's juniors, but
Trash.
also trash. Yep, it's hockey. Trash. They're getting soft on us, buddy. They're getting soft. I don't know. It's again, juniors. These guys are trying to get into like the big leagues here. They're young kids.
It's just crazy to me that like it's such a factor in the game, in the professional sport, and not just the fighting, but the toughness of it all to like just do it. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's part of what glues a team together in the NHL. You know?
Right.
I don't know. It's just to take it away completely it's gonna change the game dramatically. I think.
Right.
You know, we'll see where it goes, but just thought it was interesting to chuck in there.
But what happens if some guys just like scrap? Are they kicked out?
I think that they're like kicked from the game, probably 5-minute penalty for both sides, and then there's probably an instigator penalty, and then maybe probably a game suspension. So like, it's banned from the league in the sense of like you're gonna get slapped on the wrist and yelled at, but like it's not. You can't not. It's not like you can't do it. You know.
Right.
You could do it if you want to.
do it.
I mean, you could fight in the NFL if you wanted to, but they won't. Like, you know what I mean? You could fight in the NBA. I don't know. Just different rules now. It's just not a 5-minute go sit in the box, then step out and do it again if you feel like it. You know.
Yeah.
So, we'll see where it goes.
See where it goes. See what happens. Again, I don't watch. Well, also we don't watch a lot of Quincy. A lot of Quebec Major Juniors. So
Yeah.
I don't know if fighting is even a thing. Like, is it even a thing there, or is it just like it happens ever so often? And they're just like, it doesn't really happen. Let's fucking just cut it down.
Who knows? Not me.
Not me. I don't know. But last bit of information for everyone. Premier Hockey Federation, Amali Anderson, younger sister of NHL goaltender Freddie Anderson, has signed with the Buffalo Beauts and is the first Danish player in the league, which is pretty cool shit.
Yeah.
Amali Anderson, Freddie Anderson.
It's good to chuck that in there and get a little of that out there for the world.
A little bit of last and final women news in the NHL.
Yeah.
So cool. You know what I keep seeing in the morning? I gotta drive up 93, and this is like 6:30 in the morning. I gotta leave by, and every morning I see the Boston Pride bus come down the HOV lane into Boston. I'm like, where are they going?
Going north?
Going into Boston.
Yeah. They're going to, I believe, Warrior Ice Arena is where they practice too. I could be wrong.
I thought they practiced at their academy.
I think they do, and then they must go there for like, I don't know. Because the bus is parked like behind one of the Dunkin' Donuts in like Randolph or like Braintree. Because I see it all the time.
I see it all the time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's in Braintree next to on like Quincy Ave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That bus is just random as shit. You just see it at the most random time.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Cool.
every morning I see it. I'm just like, where you going at 6:30 in the morning?
Going to practice.
I thought they practiced
in the gym.
That's a fucking distance right there. Imagine having to drive from Braintree to Warrior Rink. That the Warrior Ice Arena in Boston is just an awful fucking drive to get to. It's like right in like the heat of just.
Yeah, you got to go 90
Austin,
west. You got to 93 north,
Brighton.
90 west. But I do think that they call it practice at their academy or their regular rink, but like there's not really a facility there. So like if they're going 6:30 a.m. all the way into Warrior, they can utilize all of the facility there, the gym, the rooms, the offices, whatever. And I think my guess is that they probably use the Thayer Academy rink to practice in during the Bruins season. And now that it's the off season, no one's using Warrior. They're probably going there to utilize all the shit.
That makes sense.
They can use that.
That makes perfect sense.
Maybe, just a guesstimation.
It's a good guesstimation right there.
Yeah, you ready to do our final shot?
Yeah.
We fucked up. We got Grey Goose. I thought we had Jameson. We must have done that last week. Whoopsie.
You texted me as like a warning, not even knowing who I am as a person. I was kind of offended. You're just like, just a warning. We have Jameson nips. I'm just like, love Jameson,
Dude, you
buddy.
struggled on it last week.
I didn't. Yeah, I think it's.
You don't drink Jameson straight, is why.
I do. I do it on the rocks.
That's disgusting.
But also, you know what I do is I do a squeak of lime juice in there too.
It's trash whiskey.
So good. So good.
Trash whiskey.
Hammered. But yeah,
That's
is
not
it.
a sipping whiskey. All right, this is it. Grey Goose.
All right, before we do it, let's toast it to this podcast.
Yeah, cheers to the podcast.
I think last week, I put up a video on Around the Boards explaining kind of like what the future plans is here, and I think we've been doing this for 2 years. It's been like 3, right?
Yeah, 2.5.
2.5,
Almost
almost
3.
3 years. I was thinking about that. I was rewatching it. I was like, wait a minute, I think I'm wrong here. We've been doing it for a lot longer. So it's kind of wild. It's kind of wild. This is just like ending. But cheers to you, and cheers to whatever comes next.
Cheers to you, and cheers to the Post to Post podcast. Cheers to all you listeners as well.
Yep.
Haven't done that in a long time.
Oh man. Nope. Sorry.
It's bittersweet. The nip, the end of the podcast, it's all just bittersweet. Matt's crying over there. This is terrible.
Oh my god. That's the worst. That's the worst we've done. I'm trying to think of stuff. No, that's
It's
the
just
worst.
vodka, bro.
That wasn't no. No. Tell them what you have for the shot glass, though.
I got a I Love Vegas shot glass, but it's got a weed plant on it because someone I know owns a big dispensary out there.
But you do love Vegas, buddy.
I
Look
do
at
love
that.
Vegas. Vegas strong. Vegas born. Vegas pride, whatever. Go cash that ticket. What am I going to do with my 300 big ones?
I wonder if
spend them all in one place.
So if you're watching this entire, we put this up in the middle here, right above the Corona premiere, and I'll probably be able to tell through edit, but from what we see now, it's kind of difficult to notice, but we got like a little Stanley Cup here on the top, if anyone's wondering, and just staring at the screen the entire time. What the fuck is that? It's a small Stanley Cup, and see it?
Oh yeah.
It's kind of funny how it's like perfectly angled, like the mic's like right here.
Yeah, the mic stand.
I always thought that was interesting. But all right, before we sign this off, I do want to say thank you to everyone who was supporting us this entire time. We've had our ups and downs with this. We've had crazy times with this. Your first daughter was born in the middle of this. We had Joe on the podcast for that.
Got another kid coming.
And
we had some awesome guests. Mike Matros. Pete.
Mike Matros.
What's Pete's last name?
Pete Mandarino.
Yep, Pete Mandarino. Paul Varley.
Paul Varley is great.
Josh Bailey, former NHLer.
Yep. We had him on twice, right? Joe Prioli was on with us too. We had a great time here. We've had our ups and downs.
Norton.
We've had Pat Norton. Shit, we've done a lot. But it's kind of crazy. Like we started this off. It's kind of different now. We took a while for us to kind of solidify where this is now. Like if you go back to our original episodes, we're trying please don't. I might put them in private, but you could just tell like we're just trying to figure shit out, and we finally got to a certain place where we are now, where I love doing it. I think we've been picking up great fans. I think the fans who've been supporting us and finding us, I appreciate you guys so much. It's been great. I mean, we could blame ourselves because remember the beginning of the whole thing, we're just like, let's fucking drink and just like talk shit throughout the entire podcast, and then wonder why people are commenting on our stuff, like hating us. I'm just like, why do you hate us? Meanwhile, you were just shit.
Why are you booing me? I'm right. New Jersey's the worst state in the country.
So now that Chris is out, I saved that clip, by the way. I think now that the podcast is in, I'll because we've talked about it so much. I've actually had our friend Joe, ask me about what the hell it was because he heard about it. And I think I'll just put it up for everyone to actually see.
We don't have to do that. That's good. That's fine.
You don't want to do that?
No, that's good.
Okay. Well, it was a pretty infamous situation where you somehow pissed off a shit ton of people.
Got him.
But yeah, again, we had our ups and downs. So cheers to the podcast. Not set in stone at all, but there is talk with me and Billy, our producer, because I want to keep him on to help me out with stuff about getting a podcast up with me. And I don't know if it's going to be hockey related. It might be just me and just like people I know, or just like guests on and stuff. It's just going to be very relaxed podcast. Very relaxed podcast. And again, Around the Boards is going to stay. If you haven't watched the video, Around the Boards is going to stay up. I'm going to put hockey content up there. It's going to still be hockey content. There's just not going to be post podcast.
I do think you should release Small Talk under that umbrella if you do it. Though,
yeah. I think I'm going to do that too, because with all the stuff here, when we take everything down, I'm going to have the lights, the Shure SM7Bs, like the great mics, the camera here too. I'm going to start live streaming a lot more. I put up the video, and I've had people contact me about information, because I did in the video be like, give me your ideas for like a live stream situation. I'm like, hockey's over, so I can't really talk about hockey, but I'm like, you know what? I would rather just like bring people together, like the people who subscribers and stuff. Let's fucking chill and live stream. It doesn't have to be hockey. It can be hockey, but it doesn't have to be. And just talk about like movies, music, just all that shit, like just like a little chill live stream. So I think it's going to be the move here with for the live streams so far. And then again, like what I was talking about when we first started the Post podcast, do that and kind of figure shit out, and I'm sure everything will kind of land where it should be.
Yeah, like I said too, if you ever need a hand with anything, I'm around. I'll help you out. I'll be on. I'll be a guest, whatever you need.
Perfect.
I do want to get in the crease with Chris going, hopefully eventually. Maybe some live streaming on Twitch as well, something like that. So anything else I can, content-wise produce will come out under the Around the Boards umbrella too, if that's cool.
Yep, that's fine with me.
We'll see where it takes us, but
Yep.
I gotta go through another 3 months of sleepless nights, so I don't know if anyone will hear from me for that time frame.
New dad.
Oh, yeah.
Well, about to be new dad.
Yeah.
So congrats again. And for our Spotify and Apple listeners, if you haven't yet, go check out Around the Boards on YouTube. Our thumbnail or our picture there is the Post podcast picture on there too. Hit that subscribe button. Check out the Mic'd Up with Matt episodes. Again, I'm in the middle of figuring out how to do it. Once I get all this stuff too, I'll be more in depth with how I'm going to do shit. But the plan is, again, keep that shit going. So once again, I thank you to everyone who's been listening in, and cheers to you all. And
thanks again to our sponsor, Corona Premier, as well.
Yep, 100%.
Couldn't do it without him.
No, thank you. So, want to cut it off for the last time?
Yeah. Thanks, everyone, for listening. If there's anything you want to see us cover in the future, please let us know. Email us at posttopostpod@gmail.com, and we'll see you all somewhere down the line.
And also follow my Instagram, MaddogMatt44. I'm always on there. If you have any questions, anything you want to talk, or just want to chill and talk, DM me there or message me on one of the bitches. And thank you all yet again. Have a good night, guys. Cheers.
Bye, guys.